Welcome to the Candle Business Coach podcast. I'm your host, Kirsty Allen, and I am the Candle Business Coach. I'm also a mum of three and a kindness advocator. This podcast is all about making and selling candles, business development, and mindset, delivered to you with advice, inspiration, and motivation in a new episode every Friday. This episode is brought to you by the membership for candle makers, the Candle Makers Collective. Becoming a member gives you access to fortnightly online group Q&A coaching sessions to support you, monthly online workshops and trainings to help you grow your business, plus frequent expert guest speakers to inspire and teach you. You'll also have access to an ever-growing resource library with templates, guides, planners, and ebooks. But my favorite aspect of the membership is our exclusive Facebook group for accountability, connection, and support. So if you're looking to take your candle business to the next level and learn more about the membership for candle makers, click the link in the show notes for the Candle Makers Collective. Welcome back to the podcast, my friend. Today we have another candle maker conversation, this time with the lovely Ro from Coastal Home and Body. Now, I am super excited to speak to Ro today for a few reasons. One being that we've connected on Instagram, and it's just always nice to hear from listeners of the podcast, but also just to hear about her journey and where she could be in the next 12 months as well. So definitely touching on where you've come from and also where you're going. So Ro, do you want to say hello to the listeners and tell us a little bit about yourself?
Thanks, Kirsty. Thanks for having me. Hi, everyone. So my name is Rohana, but everyone calls me Ro or Rowie. So hello. I'm 42. I live in Currumbin on the Gold Coast. I'm a wife. I'm also a mum. I have two stepchildren as well, and we have a dog and a cat. So life's pretty hectic. But a bit about me, I guess the beach is my happy place. I'm lucky enough to live a couple minutes away from Currumbin Alley, which is my absolute favourite beach ever. I love my books as well. So that's a little bit about me, I guess.
Beautiful. I love how you've got the outside inspiration of the beach, but then the internal motivation with reading as well. And I bet you can even combine the two and read on the beach.
Absolutely.
Would just be beautiful. Yeah. So I'd love to know, how did you get started with candle making? How did it all begin?
Okay, so I got started with candle making just through being the creative person that I am. I've always had a bit of a creative outlet with other things in the past, but it actually started with my mum, and I started making body products first and then moved into candle making. So my mum was just talking one day about looking for a body butter, how she couldn't find like a nice one that was moisturizing and wasn't gluggy, and she wanted a nice like coconut and lime fragrance. And I just thought, oh, I wonder if I could make it. So I've just, super creative person. I just thought, I do some research, got some ingredients, lots of trial and error. So started with the body butter first and then just made it for friends and family, and they all really loved it. And I thought, this is cool. I'm enjoying this process. And I thought, I'll move into a body scrub. So same sort of thing, got lots of ingredients, lots of trial and error, lots of learning. YouTube's my best friend. And then I thought, I'm onto something here. And so my mum and dad and my husband were sort of saying, this is good. Like, you loving making things. And I thought, what else can I make? I love candles. So it was a bit of a natural progression then just to learn how to make candles. I've always purchased candles for the home. And so I got onto YouTube again and started researching and went from there, really. So then I guess from there we had thought, we should take this to go to the markets and we need a business name and what can we do with it? So I kind of just grew legs and just went from making simple body butter for my mum because she was just having a chat one day into, now making, candles and reed diffusers and room sprays and all sorts.
Amazing. I love that you identify as a creative person and then wanted just to expand what you were offering into the world. And I love that it started with your mum. It starts sometimes so innocently and so organically and just beautifully in that if your mum hadn't had that conversation with you, you might not be where you are today.
Yeah,
so
that's
it's just amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm close with my mum. So we chat like every day on the phone. So it was just a bit of I just thought, I wonder if I can make it for her. So went from there and with the candles, I just thought I want to do something different with the candles as well. I just want to make normal candles. And actually the first candle I made was the most ugliest candle ever. And I took it to the markets when I was selling my body butter and body scrub, which sold like hotcakes. But these candles I made the first time, I thought they were unique and special in some nice recycled coconut shells just to keep with the whole coastal vibe. And anyway, they didn't sell it all. I thought, oh no, I'm no good at making candles. But then I just went on to learn more and research more and try more stuff. And what I make today is, I'm happy with that.
That's so good. It's nice to know that we can progress through our journey as opposed to the first candle we make is the best one that we can make. It might be at that time, but when we equip ourselves with more knowledge and more practice and skills, we then can make better products that our customers will want to purchase from us. So it's so good that you're, I won't say a market fail, but it's so good that, you might not have sold the first lot of candles, but you didn't give up. You kept going and kept trying different things. It's all about trial and error sometimes. And when you've got the perspective, and I feel like you really do, when you've got the perspective of this is fun, this is an adventure, I want to try new things, I'm learning, I'm growing, I'm evolving, then the journey of getting from A to B is so much more enjoyable.
It is. And you have to love what you do. Like, I think if you love what you do and you have a passion for it, you're going to succeed in your own right, no matter however you judge success. But for me, it was just like, oh no, I want to nail this. Like, I want to master it. I want to learn more and I want to keep trying new things. So that's just, I guess, how I work.
Now, when did this all begin? Is this several years ago? Is it more recent?
Yeah, it was about 2.5 years ago. So it wasn't all that long ago. And it was a bit of I guess, when I was making the stuff for mum, like the products for mum, it was just, just kitchen bench stuff. Mum would come over, we'd just whip it all up together and have fun with it. And then, from then on, from about 2 years ago, I got serious about it all. So I went to the markets and I did markets for a really long time, every Sunday, or not every Sunday, most Sundays. We have beach markets here on the Gold Coast. So I do Burleigh, Broadbeach and Currumbin. And I got to engage with the local community. And that's where I sort of built my social media from as well. So I guess that products, because they have to be sort of seen and smelt and felt and all those sorts of things. And it was good to do the markets for a long time. So about 2 years ago, I got really serious with it all.
What would you say to someone who, a candle maker or a creative maker, if they might not have made candles yet, if they don't want to go to markets, they just want to sell online? Do you think your business would be where it is today if you hadn't done markets?
I don't think so, honestly. I don't know that many candle businesses that are just purely online now. I am purely online now, but I think because our candles have to be smelt. I mean, for me, they have to be touched, seen, smelt, and all my other products as well. So I think starting with markets or a pop-up shop, even in a retail space, I did that for about 6 months as well after the markets, or sort of with the markets, but then left the markets, went to the pop-up shop. So it's important to engage with people, especially as a maker, just having that, being the face of the business and people going, oh, wow, do you make this from scratch? It's like, yeah. And they're like, oh my gosh, they're really quite surprised, which is really nice and humbling as well. So I think having that human connection at first, having people come back to you and knowing that you're going to be at the market, so you're going to be in your pop-up shop and they're going to just get that connection and they're going to refer people to you and you're going to grow from there. So I think it's important to kind of, it's at first it was a bit daunting because I was like, oh God, I don't know how to sell. I'm not a salesperson. I'm like, oh God, this is going to be absolutely horrific. But I guess it just goes back to doing what you love and being passionate about it and making it from scratch and knowing your product inside and out. And you're not really selling it then, you're kind of just being genuine.
Yes, absolutely. And when it comes to making new products for the market in general or selling at markets, you're not going to necessarily know what products people resonate with until you're in front of them, until someone comes along and picks up one of your products, smells them, gives you some feedback. And that could purely be just like, oh, this is beautiful. What scent is it? Or not a fan of this. Do you have something else? Yes. Until you get that one-on-one interaction with your customers and potential customers, which then can become your social media followers. It's a gamble of knowing what products are going to resonate with your customers until you actually start selling. So, I highly recommend it. We've had a few people on the podcast that are diehard market fans and they do the markets every weekend. And you see their growth and their success a lot faster because they're in front of their customers more often and they're being consistent in their business as well, which definitely helps.
Markets are awesome. Markets are heaps of fun. It's a big process to get ready for them. But for me, it was, now looking back, it was necessary. Even being, when I was at the Coolangatta markets, I think I said Currumbin before, but it's Coolangatta. There was holiday makers that would come like 2 or 3 times a year and they'd always say to me, when will you be back here? And they'd come on holiday from Sydney or wherever they were from and they would come and find me at the markets. So they messaged me, are you going to be there on social media? And I'm like, yeah, I'll be there. And they would come and they'd buy the candles and the body butter, and they would buy for their friends because they knew I was there. And they really, I don't know, it was a really nice, it's a really nice feeling of being like, oh, someone, like, apart from my family and friends, people actually like what I make. How nice. Amazing.
Yes, the novelty never wears off when
No.
you have what start as strangers fall in love with your brand, and then you form these connections, and they're
Yeah.
genuine connections. They're relationships that you wouldn't have had if you hadn't gone and met them in person to have that human connection, which you mentioned before.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, no, it's really special. So yeah, highly recommend the markets.
So let's have a think about your day-to-day running of your business. How
Mhm.
do you complete everything that needs to be done?
Oh gosh. Look, to be honest, things just don't get done every day. And it's a juggle, particularly when you've got kids and all the other things that happen in life aside from running a business. But I find, for me, the best thing I can do is try and pre-plan. Write a list. I'm a real note taker or a list writer. I use multiple things as well. I've got an app on my phone called To Do, which is a really good app if you haven't heard of it, Microsoft To Do. And it's just like a little online list thing, and you can tick it off, and it makes a really nice aesthetically pleasing sound when you tick it. It's like, ding, it's like, oh, done. Um, and I also use a planner. I use a Steph Pace planner, which is fantastic. So just trying to get, I guess, in my own head about pre-planning and preparing as best I can for all the tasks to be done. And look, and being okay with the fact that not everything gets done in a day or in a week for the business. I've had to teach myself that that's totally fine. Like, with all due respect, like, we're not brain surgeons. No one's going to die if I don't get every little thing done, but you have to prioritize. You have to take stock, like every Sunday I plan the meals out for the week. And that's not me doing, I write them down. I try and get my food shopping done on a Sunday. I try and make sure the kids are sorted, because the more that I can get the household stuff sorted, it leaves my brain free to work on the business and get the things done for the business I need to get done.
I love that, because it's the reality of not only being a business owner and a mum and having, a partner or a husband, as well as,
Yeah.
maybe a full-time job or a part-time job. This is not just for the two of us, but just for the
Yeah.
listeners in general. There's so many things that are on our plates that it is hard to manage it all at times and to try and find that elusive balance. But when you can pre-plan and execute those plans, it does make the load a little bit lighter. And I heard an interesting phrase recently, and it was, consistency doesn't mean daily. It just means consistently, like constantly showing up. And I thought that was really great, because it takes the pressure off. I have to do all the things every day. Otherwise, I'm a failure, or I won't find success, or, the world will collapse if I don't tick off this extra item of my to-do list. But if we, as you say, take a step back, plan as best we can, that doesn't come naturally to all of us. So that can take practice, and that's part of the personal growth journey, just figuring out how to work out how things are going to happen for you in your business. But if you're able to be somewhat organized and then follow through on the plans that you've set, your past self will thank you. And your future self will be, enjoying the fruits of your labor. So,
100%. And like, I'm quite an anxious person by nature. So I just find, if it's Monday morning and if I haven't done like that food shop on a Sunday, or if I haven't written down my things for the week on the Sunday, I wake up Monday morning almost in like a panic state, like, oh my gosh, I'm behind. And it's like, it's just pressure I put on myself, which is silly. But I guess, I don't know, it comes with age as well. I guess probably being 42, it's like, oh gosh, I've been there in my 20s and, stuffed up so many little things, or haven't, planned things. I think, no, I've got to try and just, make things easier for future Ro.
Yes, definitely. And when you do, you don't then dread Monday mornings. You look forward to it with excitement and keen to, get to that to-do list and start ticking off items.
Yeah, no, that's it. 100%.
What's been your biggest win in your business so far?
I've had a few actually, that, for me anyway, I mean, some people might think they aren't much, but for me, I think my biggest one would be last year I had a brand approach me, which is called Dukey's Co. They're actually a men's board short and lifestyle short company. They're here on the Gold Coast, and they're an international brand. And they approached me about doing a collab. So I make lip balms as well as part of my business, and they wanted to do a collab with my lip balm. So like, they did like a gift with purchase, or something like that through their website. And they sell these shorts, which are amazing men's shorts. Yeah, as I said, like worldwide, and sporting stars wear them, and celebrities wear them. And I thought, this is huge, because for me and my little brand, I get to be open and viewed by a whole new demographic. My, demographic is women, between like the ages of 20 odd to 60 odd. And now it's like, oh, wow, I get to have my brand, because we still labeled them with their Dukey's brand, but we had my Coastal Home and Body on there and my website on the label. So I got exposed to this whole new target market, which I didn't even think would be possible. So that was huge for me. And that was just at Christmas time, which was great. And hopefully we get to do that again. They're such a lovely, lovely people to work with. Aside from that, I have had my products in a few retail stores here on the Gold Coast in the last 6 months. So yeah, that's really big for me, because like I said before, having my products where people can smell and touch and feel and try is really important. So getting wholesale customers on board the last sort of 6 to 8 months has been awesome, which yeah, I'm really pretty proud of.
That's amazing. What an incredible opportunity to have a brand that's sort of outside the target market, as you say, approach you, connect with you, collaborate with you, and then open up this whole new world of opportunity for you. That's amazing.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I was really, really like, I was amazed. I was like, oh, awesome. Yay, I was stoked.
On the flip side, what are some challenges that you've experienced with either making candles or your business journey?
I would say my challenges are maybe similar to a lot of other startups, in the sense of, how do I get my ideas, my products, my story out there into people's world, like on social media or even just at the markets. How do I, at the end of the day, I love what I do, but I need people to buy from me, right? So I'm like, my whole thing is, how am I going to project this out into the world and build a community, build an online community? And it's still an ongoing challenge. I've done a lot of social media marketing courses, on how many hashtags to use and when to post online, and, how to create posts on social media and Facebook that aren't just buy me posts. You have to open yourself up, your life, and you're a human at the end of the day. So people buy from people. So that's been a big challenge for me, is actually opening myself up and doing posts on social media that aren't just about, look at my new candle, look at my new product. It's, hey, here's a day in the life, here's some behind the scenes, and trying to get that organic growth through being real and open and honest. It's hard for someone like me, and maybe hard for other people as well. So yeah, it's different. I think that social media has changed a lot over the years as well. Like I remember back in the day, you could be on Facebook and you could do a promotion and gain so many new followers and then sell so many products. And this is going back creative outlets before. I used to be a photographer. So it was just really, really different, like 10, 12 years ago on social media to how it is today. It can be quite fickle. So it's really challenging to try and be authentic and real and not follow trends, but trying to, I guess, stick with the bloody algorithm that, I don't know, it changes all the time, I feel like, on Instagram.
It is true. It is almost impossible to predict what is going to go viral or what's going to perform well or what's going to get likes and comments and things. But one of the things I really love about your social media is that you actually show your face. Which is, you have a beautiful face, you have a beautiful personality. Like, it's just, no, don't laugh, it's true. Like, you come across and you are so genuine and so lovely, and you're passionate about your business, but you're almost more passionate about just, how do I phrase this? Like, yes, you want to make sales. Yes, you want to be in business for the financial reasons to then obviously keep going with the business, but you're just excited to share your business with people and with your followers. And it's so genuine and lovely. And I think that that's one of the reasons, like one of the many reasons why you're having such beautiful success. It's because you're actually showing up as yourself, as your authentic self, and people can notice that and they see that.
Yeah. Oh, thank you. That's so kind. Yeah, you're right. People like to connect. People go on social media to be social. They don't go on there to be sold to. And that's something that, like I said before, I'm not a salesperson, and I'm not going to, go on there and, just do that sort of thing. But people are also, what I learned is that people are sticky beaks and that's okay. So for me, I get the most traction on my social media with showing behind the scenes or showing, how I make things as well, or even just a day in the life. Like some people like to see that, I wake up at 5:30 in the morning and do a 5K run, or that I watch the sunrise on the beach, or that I've got to get my child up for school, or that, Duke and Daisy, our dog and cat, they're having a little fight, and having a play fight. And that's what I find people resonate with the most, because it's just life, right? And that's what people like to see. Like, oh, good, she's just, that happens to her too, or, she's not
Yes.
telling all the perfect stuff all the time, because that's just not, life's not perfect. So
No, that's right. And I feel like the days of only showing the highlight reel of our journeys is, I think in the past, people want authenticity. We want genuine connections, even if it is through a screen with a person we've never met. We can still feel like, oh, yeah, like that person's just like me. Like I've got similar values and we're going through a similar experience. Or they're just, like you say, sticky beaks, and they're curious about the process. Because when you are a candle maker and suddenly the algorithm shows you all the other candle makers in the world, you think, oh, what can I show or what can I share that's different? But sometimes we forget that our followers aren't following all the other candle makers as well. So when we actually show them how to make a candle, or the behind the scenes of how to mix fragrance oil into the wax and how to pour it, and we don't have to go into the technicalities or the specifics, but when we just show the visual of how a candle is made or how a product is made, it is so fascinating to people that are outside the making world, because they've never seen it before. They have no idea how it's done. And it's just that novelty of, wow, this is something totally brand new. How do you make a candle? How do you make a body butter or a body scrub? Like, people are curious, not necessarily to then start their own business, but they just want to know how it's made because it's interesting.
Yeah, people are genuinely curious, and that's something I found definitely the markets as well. When, like I said before, people would come up and they were like, "Oh, do you make this body butter? Do you make this candle? How?" Like they're fascinated by it. And I forget that, just because I know how to do it and I do it all day, every day. Sometimes, it's nice to explain things to people, and I share so much knowledge and stuff that I've learned, because I think we're all on our own journey, and I don't think anyone's, if someone wants to copy what I do, that's fine, you can, but I think people just are genuine. They're just like, wow, that's so interesting. Like,
Are you ready for personalised support for your candle making journey? Hi there, my friend. I'm Kirsty Allen, the Candle Business Coach, and I help candle makers like you with mindset and business strategy, as well as troubleshooting your candle making struggles. With my private coaching, we'll work together to set and achieve your goals. And whether you need a single session for clarity or a series of sessions for ongoing support, I'm here to help you every step of the way. Check out the show notes for details of my private coaching sessions and packages, and let's achieve your goals one candle at a time. What are your goals for your business? Where do you see Coastal Home and Body going in the future?
So the goal is to definitely keep growing. Like that's just like always in my head, like, just keep growing, stay relevant, to be that brand for when people are ready to buy for themselves or for someone else, that Coastal Home and Body comes to their mind. And it probably comes back to a challenge I didn't mention before, is that the quiet period is definitely a challenge when there's no sales coming through or very little. It's about staying relevant on social media for me and sharing those behind the scenes moments, so that when someone is ready to buy, they go, oh, Coastal Home and Body, I'll jump online. So the goal is to stay relevant and keep growing. So that's goal number one. The other one is to get my products into more retail stores. As I mentioned before, I'm in a few on the Gold Coast, which is amazing. I'm super proud of. And there's a few real estate agents that use me for their gift hampers as well. Some I've just purchased candles. Some I've done full-blown gift hampers for, with reed diffusers as well. And then they add their champagne and chocolates to it. So that's been awesome. But I would really like to get out of the Gold Coast. So up to Sunny Coast would be amazing, down to Byron Bay as well. So I need to get stuck into investigating, and that's just by me going out there, visiting stores and business owners and taking some samples with me. So that's another thing. I've got to get out of my comfort zone, because I haven't done markets now for nearly a year, or no, yeah, maybe, or 8 months or so. So it's like, oh, I've got to get out there, actually physically be out there. Like I can be behind a screen now and be quite comfortable with it on social media, but it's like, I'll have to go into stores and say, hi, do you want to stock my products? So that's definitely a goal for me, is just to get out there and do that so I can keep growing.
Yes. Absolutely. And when choose to be an online business, our reach can be somewhat limited if we're not being consistent on social media and we're not, doing the courses and implementing different strategies and ways to grow. So there is always going to be an element of you have to get out of your comfort zone and you have to go and visit stores, or you have to contact stores and you need to, either call them or email them, or most preferably go and visit in person. Is the store actually one you want your products at? It's not just throw your products at every single store that could be a potential. You want to have a store, or you want to have a relationship with, or a connection with a brand or with a business that actually reflects your business as well. And you want to make sure it's the right connection. And that's going to take, as you say, stepping outside your comfort zone, trying new things and just seeing what feels right and going with that, rather than capping your potential by purely doing what you've always done, because what's brought you here won't take you there. So you need to continue to up level and try new things and push yourself and grow. And that's where the personal growth journey comes into having a business. And not everyone knows that, and not everyone's prepared to go on that journey. So yes, I'm going to make candles and I'm going to make millions of dollars. Oh, wait, I have to learn how to better myself. Oh, no, that's too hard.
That's right. No, it's so true. It's so true. And I'm such an awkward person as well. Like, I think some people see me on social media and think, oh, she's quite confident or whatever. And I show my face. But like an example is there's a store that it's a florist right around the corner from me that stocks my products. And the owner is lovely. She's so lovely. But I have to go through the shopping center to get to where my Coles is. And I sometimes avoid her store because I don't want to walk past, and sometimes I just want to go, oh, hi. But I think, oh, she'll think that I'm going to go in and ask if she wants to stock some more products. And I don't want her to think that, because I'm not that forward person, and then I'll be awkward and I won't know what to. So I kind of go through another entry point to the shopping center just so I don't have to walk past her store, because I don't want her to think that I'm just there for that purpose of, hey, how's your candles going? Do you need more stock? And even though it's like, yes, I want her orders, I'm like, I don't want to be that weird See, this is it not even making sense probably, but I'm really awkward sometimes in, I guess, promoting myself when I already know that these people love my products. They put an order in every single month for their store. Like, it's all good. I can walk past and just say, hey, how you going? And keep walking. But then I think, oh no, she might think, oh, I haven't ordered from her yet. I should order from her. And then I'm like, get stuck in this mental thing in my brain, I think, sometimes as well.
Yes. I feel like we could unpack that in a whole separate podcast episode. But it's true, because we get caught up in our heads and we get caught up in the mindset muck, and we suddenly start telling ourselves all these different stories. And really, it's like, I'm actually just going on my way to do my shopping. That's all it is. And I'm just saying hello because I appreciate you and I appreciate our connection. And that's all it needs to be. So my challenge for you, Ro, is to walk past that store. Be brave.
Oh, Kirsty, I'll let you go.
Oh, too funny. Okay. I would love to know, and I feel like you've already summed it up throughout the podcast, but I'd love to know, what is your favorite thing about what you do?
It's all of it, Kirsty, honestly. And I know that must sound like a really cliche answer, but I love everything I do. I just think that and look, this might be a closed-minded thing to say, or people might think, oh, that's a bit weird, but I only make products and candle fragrances that I personally love and would use in my home or buy or use on myself. So I do like a glow getter face oil as well. I do lip balm, body butter, body scrub, all the products, candles, everything. But if I'm making something that I don't love or I wouldn't use, or a fragrance I don't like, then I'm not going to like it. And that's just how I am. I'm really passionate about what I do and what I make. And that's why I like my candle glassware and my reed diffuser glassware. It's all white because I like white. I like matte white. And that's just what I like. And some people go, oh, but you don't do amber and you don't do black, or you don't have rose gold. And it's like, yeah, that's okay. But I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that, but I personally wouldn't buy that for myself. I've cut out a fragrance because it didn't sell, which was fine. But also I was like, well, actually, I didn't personally love that fragrance either. So that kind of falls into line with, what I love and don't love as well. So a bit of a long-winded answer there, but I think that I love everything about what I do. If I didn't love it, I wouldn't be passionate about it, and I probably wouldn't be, in my eyes, successful at it either. So yeah, I think you've got to love what you do.
So I'm sitting here nodding like quite heavily or quite seriously, not seriously, like my head is bopping along, because it's so important to love what you make, because then you can then sell it in a non-salesy way. If you're only making products in the hope that people will buy them, and the process of you making them you don't fully love and fully enjoy, It's going to make your whole business a lot harder, especially when the challenges arise, and they will arise. So it's so important to be in love with your brand, to be obsessed with your business, to fully devote as much time as you can in a beautiful, genuine way to be successful however you define it, rather than, oh, someone at the market said lime and coconut, so now I'm going to go make that because that person might come back. And then if they come back, then I'm going to be able to sell that one product to them. But actually, I don't like coconut. So, like it can become this whole thing. But if every product that you make, every fragrance that you sell is something that you love making and enjoy making, the process of then talking about it with your customers, promoting it on social media, and then selling it is going to be a whole lot easier.
It is. It is. And I think that's where some people might fall into the trap of just doing things because they've seen other people do them or someone said that they should. Just because it's Christmas time doesn't mean you have to bring out a Christmas candle range and slap a Christmas candle label on your candle. You don't have to do those things. If you don't like it, that's okay. Like, I think if you just stick to what you personally love, and try and test the market with things, 100% important as well. But yeah, I think that's what it comes down to, is just if you're making things that you love and that you would use yourself easily, you're selling it without even knowing you're selling it, like you said.
Yes, 100%. So when things do get a little tough and there are some challenges that come your way, how do you stay motivated?
Motivation for me is also, it comes down to my why, which is my family, my kids, and my dad as well. So without getting too sad and upset, I lost my dad nearly 2 years ago to cancer really, really quickly. It was completely sudden and unexpected and just threw us all. But he was a big believer in what I was doing. So he loved that I started out making products for mum, and, he beat my home putting labels on things, and he helped me, with my mum as well, and my husband. Oh, super lucky with the support I have, that they helped me with the business name. And, dad would come to markets with me and he'd set up the market for me and pack down for me because I couldn't work that bloody, and I still can't, the bloody stupid marquee. It's like, I don't know.
They're not easy, are they?
Oh,
that's a challenge in itself.
It's such a challenge, yes. So, my dad would be there, like, you've got to get to markets like early in the morning, it's all day, and him and mum would come with me and my husband. But my dad was he was the best, and he believed in me and the business and what I was doing. And yeah, when things get tough, and as much as I show my kids resilience and try and teach them that, and that we just keep going no matter what, if I haven't had many sales this week, that's okay. We show up, we keep going, we keep doing what we love and what we believe in because we trust the process. I've also got my dad in the back of my head. And every time I get a sale that comes through my website, I thank the universe and I thank my dad, because I know he's there with me and I know he's proud of me. And every single sale that I get, I donate 5% back to the Cancer Council in his honour. And that's what keeps me going, is that if I'm still loving and enjoying what I'm doing, then just keep going, because I've got, my son, and I've got 2 stepkids and husband, my mum, my mum's amazing. She helps me. She comes down and helps me make things in the business. She always goes, oh, I'll come down and help you. And she comes in the garage with me where I've got everything set up. And then I just think of my dad, and it just keeps me going.
That's beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing that. And it's so important to be connected to your why, no matter what the why is, because things do get tough. Life can be really cruel sometimes. And when we have a business and we have something that's motivating us to reach for a better life, or just a different life, or just to have more opportunities, when we're faced with those challenges, or when we're faced with the hard things, our why needs to be strong enough to propel us forward, and then to continue that momentum. It's so incredibly important to have something that's bigger than, I want to make sales, or I want to make money, or it's financially driven, which there's nothing wrong with wanting to make money. I myself want to make money, partly why I'm in business. But to do something that's more genuine and more authentic, and that's more really like from your heart, I think is one of the most incredible things you can do. And then that radiates out into the world and out into the universe. And it's just a beautiful thing that we can create, because we're here on this beautiful planet, and we're here to make a difference, I feel like, and to leave a legacy. And you're inspiring your children more than you probably even know or realize, and instilling in them a belief of, well, self-belief, and self-worth and self-love. And that's come down through the generations for you, which I think is just so, so incredible.
Thank you. Yeah, definitely. No, I love it when the kids see me in the garage making products. And look, and they would come to the markets as well with my husband, and they would help, get out all the products and put them on the table how they thought they should be, displayed. And they're just, I'm lucky to have really good people around me, excellent support, and lots of love.
I feel like my next question is summed up with what you've just said. But the question is, how do you define success? And I feel like having the success of your family and having the business of your dreams, I see you as a success, but I'd love to hear your definition.
Yeah, definitely all the above that I've said already. But I guess something else I haven't touched on is probably success is to me also the repeat customers that I get. And that could be wholesale customers and other customers and those I've met at the markets that now purchase online from me or have just purchased online from me through referrals or just through finding me on socials and thinking, hey, you got some nice stuff, I'll give it a try, and then coming back. That to me is really humbling. It's getting customers, but getting the repeat sales and people just going, oh, I would never buy from anyone else ever again, or I used to buy from X brand, or I've had some beautiful comments and reviews left for me. It's just like to say that they think that my products, and I never set out to be better than anybody else. I just do what I love, but when they tell you that your candles are better than a really big brand and they would never buy from them again, and I'm like, oh wow, it's really humbling. So I definitely think the success is everything else we spoke about today, but also that repeat customer, which is amazing.
It's so beautiful and amazing when you hear that like cha-ching on your phone when you get a sale. But I think there needs to be like another level to that sound when it is a repeat customer, just so you know, like it's like, oh, that person's bought from me again, because anyone can purchase from anyone, right? But when you find a brand that you love and you find products that you really enjoy using and get benefit from yourself, you then are more likely to share that with other people and then purchase again for yourself. So I love that you're getting repeat customers. And I think, that is one of the highlights or one of the markers of success for many of the candle makers I speak to is having that repeat customer. And everyone is so surprised that they get repeat customers. And it's like, well, if you're making a great product, of course you will. Of course that's going to happen. But I love that you're humble and grateful and appreciate every sale that comes through and that you're acknowledging and celebrating every time that cha-ching goes off.
Every single time I'm like, thanks, Dad. Thank you, universe. And then I go into Squarespace and I have a look and it tells you how many times they've purchased before. And I'm like, holy hell, this person's purchased like 10 times before. Like, wow. 100% grateful. Like, it's crazy.
So good. Ro, we've come to one of my favorite parts of the podcast where I ask all my guests 3 questions relating to candles. Question number 1, what is your favorite candle fragrance?
Oh, this probably changes for everyone from time to time, but French pear is my favorite. It is one I just launched this week, actually, onto the website. I was testing it in my home for the last month and I've got it in every candle around the house. I've got 3 candles around the house and it's just my favorite. It's such nice crisp and I don't even like pears. I don't even like to eat pears. But this fragrance is next level. It's like nice and crisp and it's got like a smooth, like vanilla in it. And it's divine. French pear, 100%.
Making me hungry. Not to eat pears though, but just in general. The way you describe it is amazing. Question number 2, what do you love about candles?
It's an experience for me. It's not just, to get a fragrance hit. I mean, you can spray a room spray, you can flip your reeds over in your reed diffuser, but you light a candle and it's like, I only use timber wicks in my candles and I love the little faint crackle you get. I love the ambience you get from it. It's definitely the experience and a feeling for me. And I love it just whether I've just cleaned the house and I light the candle after, it's a moment and it's to be enjoyed.
Yes, I'm a huge advocate of clean the house, light a candle. Can't do it the other way around.
No.
And then the last question is, what is one piece of advice you'd like to give to other candle makers?
Do it with love and do it with passion. Do it your way. Don't follow trends. Don't do things because you think you have to or you think you should. Just do what you love and do it with passion, and you can't go wrong.
Such beautiful advice. Ro, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart for being on the podcast today. I've loved our conversation, and I just know that the listeners will get so much benefit from listening. For those of the listeners that would like to get in touch with you, where can we find you online?
So I'm on Instagram. It's just Coastal Home and Body, and Facebook is exactly the same. I do have a TikTok. Haven't quite mastered the art of TikTok yet, but there is a TikTok as well. And website is just coastalhomeandbody.com.au.
Amazing. Thank you once again. I appreciate your time.
Thank you so much for having me, Kirsty.
Thank you, my friend, for listening to this episode. Check out the show notes for all the links mentioned throughout the conversation, and please subscribe to the podcast so you don't miss any future episodes. And if you're feeling inspired, I would love it if you would write a review for the podcast and give a 5-star rating. Thank you so much, and have a beautiful day.